welcome to another episode of Ground Speak, brought to you by Asian Confluence. And today I have Mr. Crow David, who is the head of 7000 Steps Coffee, which is a coffee startup based out of this beautiful city of Shillong. Mr. David, a very warm welcome.
Thank you so much, Pradyut, for inviting 7000 Steps to your interview. This is an opportunity for us. We're really grateful to the Asian Conference for inviting us.
Thanks. Mr. David, to start this conversation, please tell us something about your organization, something about the story behind this interesting story, 7000 Steps. What is the story behind this very interesting name? If you could tell us something about it.
I would be very happy to share the story behind the brand name 7000 Steps. There are many people, customers, and then many people asking about the story behind the brand name 7000 Steps. So, several years ago, our CEO Ralph Puttleman, we always used to go for an epic trip to these remote regions, Kenyan regions in Meghalaya, which are very isolated, and then there's no access of transportation to these villages. We have to trek to these villages, 7,000 steps going down and 7,000 steps coming back. So, and then coffee was something very new to us. I mean, to 7,000 steps. We never knew that coffee was grown in Meghalaya. So it was like the main purpose of this epic trip was not for coffee actually. The main purpose for these epic trips is like to meet the farmers and then to find out new herbs and ingredients. But on this process, like we were able to meet the farmers and then they expressed the frustration of coffee in the region, that they were not being able to sell the coffee, and then they were cutting down the coffee plants. So these intrigued us to find more about coffee. So we went from one village to another village. We went from village to another village. We found out there's coffee plantation in Meghalaya in quite some of the villages in the state. So the main story behind the brand name 7,000 steps is because we have to trek 7,000 steps, meeting the farmers and then sourcing the coffee. And then even apart from that, we also want to acknowledge the farmers' efforts as well, because for our customers it might just be a cup of coffee, but for the farmers they have to trek 7,000 steps to deliver the coffee to us, and that's where we do the processing, the roasting, and then deliver it to our customers.
If I'm not wrong, basically you're just trying to tell to your customers that this single sip of coffee has traveled 7,000 steps, or somebody has
Yes,
traveled 7,000
yes.
steps to get that cup of coffee.
Yes, exactly. And I just want to add a little bit more to that. When we go for these epic trips, like we have to trek like through thick forests, and
Hmm.
that's where we meet wild animals. That's where we encounter wild animals, and then it's very interesting. And then there was a point of time that we have to trek nearly 16 to 17 hours in 2 days just to meet the
Oh,
farm, and that's where the coffee is grown. So the coffee grown in Meghalaya is like grown by small family farms. So when we meet the farmers, we would end up our day meeting the farmers like that, and then we would go nearby the river. That's where we would that's the place where we would camp, then cook and have a food along with the farmers, discuss about the coffee plantations and all. And then early in the morning we would wake up nearby the pristine rivers, and that's where where we swim before trekking back to the vehicle. So it's really interesting, and that's the whole story behind the brand name 7,000 Service, because it comes from these epic trips.
so what I sense, there are like lot of adventure and challenges in sourcing these coffees. So do you
Yes.
source this coffee only from Meghalaya, or it's from all over Northeast?
When we first started, like we discovered coffee from Meghalaya. That's where we first discovered, and then we went to another village, to another district, like to different districts.
In which part of Meghalaya, if I may ask?
In East Councils, there's this village Minria, which is
Huh.
located in Maukonrao block. So in order to reach to this village, you have to trek, and it's a very clean village. It's very
Hmm.
nice. People are very nice. And then after finding that coffee is there, we found like we went up to other districts as well, and that's where we saw the potential. And once all of us are committed to make this work, we also went to other states to find out more coffee. So right now we are sourcing from Meghalaya, Assam, Mizoram, Manipur, Tripura, Nagaland, and Arunachal from 7 states. So yeah,
Okay, so there's 7,000 steps and 7 states also there.
yes, 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 yes.
So you said that your team used to trek to these places to source these coffees. So these farmers, they were growing this coffee for their own need, or were they actually supplying it to someone?
The main goal, like I mean, the coffee plantation was introduced to them through the soil department to
Haha.
conserve the soil. And then later, like the market was there. I mean, the coffee board is there to buy the coffee from the farmers. But
Okay.
like it takes time for the payment and all. But coffee board have been helping the farmers a lot. So they find it difficult. They don't really understand the value of coffee anymore, of farming anymore, because when they get the payment after 6 months, after a year, like that. So and then since there's only one buyer, like the price also like remains the same. So that's the main reason. So we saw it as an opportunity, and now like there are many other buyers also who comes to Vigalia and the Northeast State to buy coffee.
Okay. So can you just describe some advantages of challenges in this way of sourcing the coffee beans?
Okay. So I mean like the main advantages of sourcing it from the Northeast is because of the quality and
Mhm.
because of the higher because Northeast is here in the higher elevation. The coffee is grown in the higher elevation side, and then it's microclimate, small family farms where the farmers have more control over the quality of the coffee. And
Mhm.
then also the disadvantage is that like we're in the hilly region, the transportation is not so easy as in the plain, and then harvesting takes more time as compared in the plains. So those are the disadvantage. But I feel like the advantage is more than the disadvantage here in the northeast. And also
Okay.
apart from that, like coffee is new to the
Hmm.
northeast, where coffee to the south, the coffee to the northeast is very very new. So we have to improve a lot on quality. When we say we, I include farmers, because we consider farmers as our partners. So we have to
Hmm.
improve a lot on the quality, right from the harvesting to the processing. But I mean, over the years we have improved a lot. The farmers have improved a lot, and then the main reason is because there was no market before, so the farmers was not paying attention to the quality and the value of the coffee. But now, since the market is there, the farmers have shifted their focus to coffee and then focusing on improving the quality.
Okay. So now we, I think, have a sense that how you source the coffee by going to these very remote places, not only in Meghalaya but to all the seven sisters. So, what is the next process after that? Do you just packet it and sell it the beans, or is there a processing stage also involved in there in it?
So after sourcing it from the farmers from all the 7 northeast states, we bring it up to our processing unit, which is here in Shillong only. That's where we do the hulling. That's where we do the grading. That's where we do the roasting, and that's where we do the sorting, and then go for the roasting. And after that, we go for the sorting once again. After the roasting, we ship it to our customers.
Okay. So, so you just mentioned a while ago that that coffee is new to Northeast. So how do you see the future of the coffee market in Meghalaya, in Northeast, in the entire India also?
In the past few years, I mean, in the last 3 years, I see the coffee culture in Meghalaya, in Northeast and India is booming. There are
Hmm.
many cafes coming up. I'll say like every month there's a new cafe coming up in Meghalaya and in the
Hmm.
northeastern states and also in India. So I see the market, I see the opportunity, but I see also the gap, or the gap between the Northeast coffee with the mainland. So that's where those 7,000 steps come in to bridge the gap, between the Northeastern coffee with the customers in the mainland. That's a huge opportunity, and then we are very very optimistic to make Northeast coffee known to the coffee drinkers in India.
I think especially with the factor of isolation and the uniqueness which you are bringing in your
Yes,
marketing, I think that
yes,
is something which people from outside the Northeast India would recognize.
yes,
So
yes.
coming to the marketing, so what is the your major marketing strategy? One is definitely the name is there. So what other ways you engage for in terms of marketing your product?
We have the marketing team. We are promoting our product through social media platforms, and then we
Hmm.
do phone calls as well, to cafes and all. So we just started 2 years back, and then these are the main things that we do. These are the main things that we usually do as a marketing team to connect with our customers.
Okay, but coffee is a very it's a very niche product. Like a very, I'm sure a lot of people drink coffee, but we don't understand like the marketing or the element of the speciality of coffee. So
Yes, yes.
how do you like tackle that bit, especially in marketing?
I mean, like when we talk to the customers, I remember I think it was last 2 years when I pick up the phone and call one of the customers in Delhi, and
Hmm.
I told him that we have coffee in the Northeast, and he was amazed. He was surprised that there's coffee in the Northeast because people never heard of coffee in the Northeast because they've heard about tea. Tea is
Yeah.
popular for the Northeast, but not coffee.
Hmm.
So so that's where we see the opportunity where, like, the Northeast coffee is new to the Indian market. So our coffee is different from the other coffees in India. Our coffee is grown in a microclimate in higher elevation, and then small family farms where the farmers have more control over the quality. And then the flavor of the coffee is also different because of the flora and fauna in the Northeast is also different as the flora and fauna in the other states of India. And then also the intercropping, where like it's grown with oranges, with black pepper, and then with black pepper, long pepper, and many other plants, or which are unique to the Northeast. So these provide unique flavor to our coffee, and then we market it through. We have our website 7000steps.com. We have our website, and then we also promote it through social media as well. So, and we also do cold calls to connect with our customers and introduce 7,000 Steps Coffee to our customers. So this is what we have done in the last 2 years.
So I'm pretty sure like most of people know Northeast from the sense of tea, hub of tea, right? Assam tea is there, Darjeeling tea. So I think you'll, if not first, but one of the companies who are marketing Northeast from a perspective of a coffee product. So you face any challenges, or you have any maybe a story which we can like to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, the problem was there before at first because of the authenticity. Like,
Hmm.
people might think whether this is true or not because they have not really heard of coffee from the Northeast. But one of the core values of our company is trust and transparency. So we were transparent with our customers and then share the stories and then share the farmers' stories. Right from the farm to the cup. So when we share this with the farmers, we gain their trust and confidence. And then once they ask for the samples, we deliver the samples to them on time, and then available for them on time whenever there's any problem, when there's any inquiry, we are available for the customers. And then when they get the samples, they do really taste the difference of our coffee. So once they taste the difference of our coffee, that's where they start selling our coffee in their cafe, in the restaurants and all.
So, what is the major difference between the coffee which has been grown in Northeast India and the coffee of a Karnataka, which is grown there? So, for consumer, is it the same or is it different?
I mean, apart from the elevation, apart from the other things what I've just mentioned before, it's the same coffee that's grown in the south as well. For Arabica, we have the Chandragiri variety. Before it was Kaveri, but now we have the Chandragiri. And then for the Robusta, we have the C2R variety for the Robusta.
Okay, and in terms of taste, is it the same or is it a little
No,
different?
the taste, there's a difference. The taste, there's a difference.
Okay, so
I mean,
I think that.
the
Uh,
customers find it out, like there's a lot of difference. There's a customer from Goa who also shared that I've never tasted such kind of a coffee. This is the first time I've tasted where I get the earthy taste, where I get that jute taste and all. So our coffee, I can say, I'm 100% confident that our coffee is different.
okay, so the variety is same, but because of the topographical conditions, the taste is a little different. There's some little earthiness to it.
True, true, true. It also depends. Apart from that, it also depends on the way we process. It also
Mhm.
depends on the way we roast. So it's a combination of many factors that produces a different a different or a unique flavor of our coffee.
Okay, so that's very interesting to know. So as you know, Asian Conference works a lot with bringing the local voice to giving them a platform and taking them to international level also. So I mean, this 7,000 steps. Are you guys planning to expand your market, moving beyond the northeastern market to Indian market to international market? Is there any plan of that?
Uh, as of now, we are just focused on the Indian market.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was last 2 years that we went to Dubai for an expo where we want to try out export as well. And that being said, that we're focusing on the Indian market, but that doesn't mean that we're not open to export. We're also open to exporting our coffee to the other countries of the world. And then we would love if there's someone who's interested in the Northeast coffee, the coffee which is different, and then we have a tagline as the India's remote coffee, because the coffee
Mm-hmm.
that is grown, it's really remote. So just to conclude on your question, we're open to the export, but right now our focus is on the Indian market.
Okay, so now the focus is on the Indian market, and once maybe you have penetrate the market fully, then you'll move to the international market. I'm pretty sure
Yes,
there
yes,
will be some international coffee geeks who will be interested in trying the
yes,
remotest coffee.
yes, also for that.
Okay, so would you like to share some challenges in terms of reaching out to market? Like you said, Northeast is pretty isolated. Uh, then first is sourcing that you have able to manage it, but now there's also a thing about the second phase is to giving these products to the consumer, which are not in the Northeast but outside of Northeast. So are there any major challenges in terms of that?
Yeah, when we first started, we have to come up with different strategies and trying out different strategies in order to find the right market or the right customers, the fit customers. So right now, we are, like, to be very honest, we are not selling to everyone. We are selling to those customers who value the Northeast coffee, who understands the value of the Northeast coffee, who understand the efforts of the farmers, and then who promote the Northeast coffee, who promote the 7,000 steps coffee. So we have customers from Bangalore, from Delhi, from Mumbai, from Pune, from many other states in India. And then these customers are promoting 7,000 steps coffee, they're promoting the farmer stories, and they do really value the 7,000 steps coffee.
So then your customer is becoming your main source of marketing.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, so
I mean,
spreading by the word of
that's,
mouth.
because I feel like it's not that I'm bragging, but I just want to be very honest and transparent. Uh, there are there are some of our customers who refer cafes to us. They
Mm-hmm.
themselves are cafes, but they refer the other cafes to us. Why? Because these cafes want to be unique. They are unique by serving a unique coffee, so they reach out to us, and then we grow through, yeah, obviously through our marketing, but also through referral as well.
Okay, so yeah, so that's a positive sign if a customer is referring to giving
Yes,
you
yes.
another set of advice or lead. So that's really uh, it's a good initiative, I can say. So I mean, what advice? I think I'll just ask this question. So, what advice would you give to an aspiring entrepreneur, particularly those interested in entering the coffee industry? So, starting a business in Meghalaya maybe, because coffee is it's not very the knowledge is not quite largely available. So what advice would you give?
To be very honest, like, as people used to say, like, we're in the Northeast, we're very isolated from the rest of the country. Starting a business is not easy. Starting a coffee business is not easy, but that
Hmm.
doesn't mean it's impossible. When you have the passion, we always used to say, when we have the passion, half of the battle is already won. So when you have the passion, I mean, if you want to make this work, when you want to make this work and put all the effort in it, like, you'll achieve it one day. And when starting this business, it's not so easy as many people might think. They'll look at the success, or they'll look mostly at the outside of the business, at the success, which is often glorified, but they don't look much at the effort that the team. is putting or that the company is putting. But it is us who do it understands the effort and then the pain that we have to go through. There are nights, there are sleepless nights, and then there are times that we thought that this might not work, but once we have that passion in us, and we have the farmers backing us, we have the farmers who believes in 7,000 steps, and we have the customers who believes in 7,000 steps. This pushes us in order to achieve what we want to achieve, to make the 7,000 steps coffee known to the rest of India. And I just want to share this to any young entrepreneurs who are looking at this interview right now. One thing I just want to suggest: step out of your comfort zone in order to learn, and then take risks. Come out of the comfort zone, take risks, and then take problems as opportunities in order for you to grow and in order for you to learn.
That's actually a very beautiful advice for somebody not only from Northeast but anybody across the world who are watching this interview. That's a very solid advice, I can say.
Thank you. Thank
So, I mean, you told us about the initial days. So maybe if we can delve a little deeper into it. So, how were the initial days of being starting a coffee business
you.
in
Yeah,
Northeast?
I just want to share. I think I haven't shared this yet. 7,000 Steps is a unit of Chili Breeze. Chili Breeze is our parent company.
Mhm.
They into the other business. They've been into business now for 17 years. So it was last 2 year our CEO Ralph Puttleman, he saw the potential in coffee, and he's also saw the potential in the people from the northeast who learn business and be entrepreneurs. So when we first started the company, the coffee company, the main problem is that none of us had the business knowledge. Why I'm saying that? Because we don't have much of an opportunity, in Meghalaya. But this company took youngsters, took fresh people like me from college who joined the company, and that's where they taught us business knowledge. They share the business knowledge and skills, and then through many learnings, we equip ourselves with business skills and knowledge. And I'm confident right now that me and the team have the business knowledge and skills to run this business. And then the second problem is the coffee knowledge. As I have shared, none of us knew that there's coffee in Meghalaya, so we don't know much about coffee. The knowledge about coffee like is not there with us. So it took time for us to learn about different varieties of coffee, about different roasting profile, about the processing, and so on and so forth. So that was also one of the that's also the other problem that we were facing in the initial stage. And also the other part, as I've shared, like northeast, like is located like far from the mainland. So logistic is really an issue for us to deliver to our customers. But now we are partnering with one of the courier service, which is really performing well and delivering it on time to the customers. So, but as I've shared through many learnings and through many guidance from the CEO and the directors, we've learned a lot, and there's still many things that we need to learn, and we need to equip ourselves with the skills and knowledge to make this work. So, yeah.
So basically, where there is wealth, there is a way to be found.
True, 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 true,
Yeah.
true.
So I mean, so I had this question like, since you are sourcing coffee not from a particular plantation site and not from a particular state, but from all the 7 states, what about the quality? I mean, how do you ensure that the quality is maintained throughout the different sources you have, and the customer is also happy with the consistent quality?
So at first, in the initial stage, as I've shared, like even the farmers also were not focusing on coffee because there was no market. They were not focusing on the quality, and even for us also, coffee was new. We do not know much about the quality. But later, after learning and then meeting with our farmers, we imparted our learning to the farmers to improve the quality, and that's where we have improved the quality a lot when it comes to the farmers, and also the processing we have improved a lot. So now we also have the top farmers, I mean the performing farmers. At first we did not have the micro lot coffee because all the coffee was mixed up. Some of them they mix the Arabica and the Robusta. But now like the farmers see the value, now the farmers see the opportunity. they harvest, like they do the fly picking, where they just have where they harvest the red cherries, and then where they harvest the red cherries, and then they do the strip picking at the last part of the harvesting. So they segregate the fly pick coffee, and then the strip pick coffee, and then we also have the micro lot coffee, a coffee that is grown from a single lot where the quality is really really good. So I feel like in the past few years we've improved a lot with the quality. When we say we again, like including our partners, which are the farmers, and also from our end, when it comes to the processing side.
So, what I can sense, there's a lot of exchange of learnings between your team, just sitting in Shillong, and the farmers in various parts of Northeast. So, a lot of knowledge sharing is happening. So, I mean, to teach them it's a huge task, which I can sense. So, how do you guys do that, especially with the remoteness? Are you able to call them, video call them, or how does it work?
Yeah, like this is a very interesting story. Like there's a particular place in Meghalaya, like like a particular region, a particular village that we are sourcing our coffee from, where there's just no network in that village. But most of the village have the network, but some of the village does not have the network. So there's this village where a person, in order to call us, you have to go to a single area where there's a tree, and all the villagers would go to that area, would go to that to that place where there's a tree, and that's the only area where they get the network. So there's a particular time where they call us in the morning, before we go to the farms, and they give us a call that I'm in this place where we have the network and all. And then, like, I mean, working with the farmers, like, is a problem, but also I mean, not really a problem, but it was a problem in the initial stage. But now it's really fun working with the farmers, especially with the farmers who really have that passion, who really have the same goal, like us.
So, what is the motivation behind this?
Uh, that's a good question. The main motivation is because we want to be entrepreneurs and to prove ourselves, and to prove to many other people that even youngsters from the Northeast can also be entrepreneurs and learn about entrepreneurship. And also the other thing is, like, with entrepreneurship we can bring so many things towards the society. And then the other thing is, like, to make the Northeast coffee known to the other part of India, that there's something potential, unique, undiscovered coffee in the Northeast. And also the other thing is the farmers who really trust us, who really works hard, who really put the efforts to provide the good quality coffee to the customers. So these are the three main things that really motivate me personally, and also the team, to keep working, and to keep persevere in spite of many problems, in spite of many hurdles, like, to keep moving forward and then learn every day, and we will be there one day.
Yeah. So that's a very nice takeaway of this question. That to prove is something which is very the basic of your motivation. So moving to one a little dissecting from your expertise, but maybe it's something you may have experienced. I mean, so everybody is now experiencing this climate change, the erratic weather pattern we have. So coffee is, I think, it's also been getting affected with the erratic weather conditions. So is it happening there? Are the farmers getting affected?
Not really in the Northeast. I feel like compared to last year, the coffee
Mhm.
production in the Northeast compared to last year increased this year. So I don't really see that problem in the Northeast as of now.
Okay, so that's a good sign that the farmers are still there intact and not been getting affected.
And then I just want
So
also to share,
mhm,
like, just share a little bit on that, with there are farmers. I mean, like, there are farmers here in the Northeast, like, who do room cultivation and all,
mhm.
uh, because that's where the money is. And then we want to prove to the other farmers as well, like that coffee is also another alternative, to not conserve the soil rather than the bloom cultivation. But it'll still take some time for us to do that. But that's also one of our goals, So that's also one of our goals.
uh, are there any plans for expansion or or diversification of your product
Yeah.
on
Right now
lines
we
of
right now
coffee?
we are. Yeah, right now we are selling to cafes and restaurants, but
Uh-huh.
we are also open to distributorship as well. We're also open to distributorship and export as well.
Okay, that's really nice. So thank you, Mr. Crow, for your valuable time. And I we have a lot of viewership from young entrepreneurs from the entire Northeast. So I'm pretty sure they will learn a lot from your interview, your experience, your insight. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Crow.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting us. Thank you so much for this interview.